Family and friends, welcome back. Today we talk about managing anxiety. A big subject, I know, as anxiety comes in many forms, but I would like to talk about it in general, as it all has similar roots. There are no two humans alike when it comes to managing fear. Each person is unique despite the many similarities. How we cope and manage anxiety is determined by how we comprehend fear. The majority of us view fear as a hindrance, an obstacle to avoid, a cause for discomfort. How we comprehend it is derived from our combination of individual experiences and personality traits. The interpretation of fear and its many perceptions is really what separates us all. Some see fear as a challenge, however. Those brave souls really have just become very good with facing fear head on. They strategize, they contemplate, and set goals to overcome it, and the sooner the better. So what makes them any different from the rest of society? Is it bravery or is it something else? Yes, being brave becomes a part of it. However, I believe it takes a lot more to motivate someone to face their fears. Like what motivates most of life? A deep-rooted passion for said goal must exist. The energy required is tremendous and needs to come from a place of endless abundance. It is my fervent belief that a traumatic experience and subsequent survival of such a situation must be had to initiate the drive a person needs to overcome fear. See, it becomes a model, if you will, that cannot be taught but rather experienced. For example, a person that has had 15 years experience as a Marine has a seasoned ability to managing fear and ultimately anxiety than someone fresh out of boot camp. It is the development of confidence in one's ability to overcome that ultimately makes the difference. You cannot find how in any book or movie, no matter how it's displayed or portrayed. That path to self-assurance is a process of self-discovery. There are, however, some basic principles that can guide someone to managing their fears. The thing that must be done in overcoming is to simply write them down. Acknowledging and identifying your fears is really all the work. The key is to write it all down, no matter how small. It is crucial because before you can overcome big ones, you must first overcome the small ones. You don't climb the stairs by taking the stairs to the top. You naturally start with the ones from the bottom. Now, those that experience heavy trauma and survive to benefit from it actually do it in reverse, because nothing tops that one experience. However, if that's not you have to go for the smaller obstacles and gradually build yourself up to the bigger ones. For example, when I was growing up, I've always been terrified of heights after falling out of a monkey bar at school. Landing a job in the local oil refinery, I had to overcome my fear quickly. So I started by getting comfortable with small ladders first. Eventually, I was climbing the tallest structures in the refinery. And then one day I decided that someday I will try skydiving. I started with parasailing, then I went to indoor skydiving before I actually jumped out of a plane. The entire process occurred over a span of 18 years. Talk about warming up to an idea, but regardless of how long the process took me, when I finally jumped from a plane at 10,000 feet, I was totally mentally and physically prepared. Yes, I was still afraid, but with the ability to control and overcome. The adrenaline rush of having completed that for me was unlike anything I've ever done before. And for me has completed me as a person, as a husband, and as a father. I am more wiser and confident as a result of the experience. Some face the challenge daily with small but significant hurdles that hinder their daily performance. The approach to this type of anxiety needs to be handled the same way. Addressing said fear and identifying daily goals that you can achieve to overcome and climb the proverbial staircase. However, it should be noted that not all anxiety can be addressed this way. There's the type from physical trauma experienced during a negative encounter like a plane crash or a rape case that can leave the brain scarred from the experience. These feelings of physical reactions become impulse stimuli from post-traumatic stress disorder, or otherwise known as PTSD. For example, like the sound of fireworks after being a survivor from an IED, which is an improvised explosive device. Even more so if a loss of limb or colleague's life has been lost in the process, the damage may very well be irreversible. This requires consistent, extensive therapy and rehabilitation to overcome first the PTSD and then secondly the anxiety caused by the experience. In most cases, people simply adapt to live in this form, in this way. Forever scarred and emotionally fragile, a mental scar this deep with recurring nightmares are a far common scenario in our society today. Besides war, we have sexual harassment, physical torture, enslavement, violent car wrecks, and animal attacks, to name a few. Even being bullied all contribute to a society where anxiety and its many forms can run rampant. A good family and friend support system committed to helping in recovery, a goal, a plan to address the issues and not ignore them, an environment that promotes love and faith in God are all wonderful parts of overcoming fear. However, at the end of the day, whether you have these or not, the ultimate responsibility for your recovery lies within you, because no one else can overcome your fears. They are yours. This is why, in my opinion, the most effective and powerful solution to anything that ails the human psyche is what I call a hard reset. Like a computer that's bombarded with technical issues, you hit the delete button and do a factory reset. You must comprehend that at the least, you are a spirit in a vessel created by God in all His glory. Going back to the source of life for inspiration now becomes the single most important thing you can do to lead an above average life and excel in the face of adversity. This is how most clerics find the genesis for their calling. It is literally a second chance to life, a spiritual awakening and journey where the soul leads the mind. This is why most near-death experiences have this effect. People literally say they feel they have a second chance to life. And a hard reset takes place because there is simply no other rational way of dealing with the trauma. Family and friends, those of us who have kids must understand the powerful effects parenting has on our children. We are literally shaping the core operating systems they are going to need to survive in this world. How they manage anxiety will always be determined by what we teach them through example. Besides religion, teach them spirituality, communication with God. Besides a formal education, show them how to cope with emotions, how to address and handle fear. Besides being defeated by life, show them how to get up again, how to mentally fight back and overcome. Set goals, plan, and follow through. I'll leave you with one of my favorite quotes today that says, "Life's only limitations are the ones you make." Remember always that you are in total control of how you react to life. Stay tuned for my next episode on my new series of social science as we talk about our not so favorite subject, politics. Until then, as always, family and friends, may you have a meaningful and purposeful week. God bless.